Well, I did a video that gave you a tour through Jennifer's furnished house, and everyone loved it, and I'm so thankful, appreciative for you all watching it and for the comments. Everybody loves your house. They think it's wonderful. And but Jennifer mentioned in that video ghosts. And then I kind of left you hanging in the video because we kind of just went on, because I thought Jennifer could stand and talk about ghosts for hours. And so I knew if we didn't keep on going with the tour that it wasn't going to get finished. And I'm glad we did finish it when we did, because Aner and Christina ended up coming over.
Yeah.
And so we wouldn't have gotten through it if we hadn't have finished it. So I'm really glad. So a lot of people were like, we want to hear more about the ghosts. So I said, okay, we'll do a video of the ghosts. So Jennifer has come over here today, and so she has some ghost stories to tell you, not just with her current house, but with previous houses that she's had. So which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, we can talk about the house that I'm currently in, which is
your new house.
My new house. Which is, it's really not any huge deal. Nothing major's happened. I mean, we haven't lived there long enough for anything major to happen, but when we bought the house, we bought it from the owners.
Mm-hmm.
So we had always talked to the man that owned the house. We hadn't talked to his wife yet or anything. And we just, they trusted me and John. They gave us a key. We could go into the house anytime we wanted to. So we were constantly going over there just about every night because we loved the place. We wanted to measure windows and, you know, just do different things. So we were constantly in there when it was empty. So the cat is right in my face. Go on now. That cat don't like me. It smacked me in my face before. So yeah, you can stay away. But anyway, so nothing, you know, old houses that are empty are sort of ominous anyway.
Right.
And especially with it being a new place, there's sounds and noises in that house that we're not used to.
Exactly.
I think lots of times in life, when you expect something to happen, it's going to happen. So as far as the whole ghost thing goes, you need to be open-minded, and you need to be under the realization that, hey, that could just be a noise and that could be nothing.
Right.
But we had met the owners to sign the contract on the house.
Mm-hmm.
So we went inside and we were sitting there, and we had been in this house 50 times before. And so I'm sitting there and I don't know why, but I look at both of them and I'm like, has anything weird ever happened here? And both of them at the same time, boom. I mean, they were on it. And she said, she is a school teacher, and she said when they give you the keys to the school, she said if you better hang on to them. She said because if you lose them, they're going to come after you like a lynch mob.
Right.
She said you do not lose the keys to the school.
Right.
And she said she came in and she laid the keys down, and she said they ended up missing, gone. They looked around everywhere for them. She asked her kids about them, asked her husband, you know, have you moved my keys? Everybody said, no, we didn't touch them. She said for 8 solid months, those keys were missing. She said she goes to bed one night, next day, wakes up, the alarm clock's going off, and she reaches over to the table next to her, I guess to turn this alarm clock off, and them keys is sitting on that table.
That's weird. I mean, that's very strange.
And then he picked up and he said, I am a creature of habit. He said, when I come in from work every day, he said, I'll lay my stuff in the same place every day.
Right.
And I can't remember what he said it was of his, but he said something of his went missing. The wife said he blamed me. He thought that I moved whatever this was. He thought that I took it. She said nobody touched it. It was missing for a solid year. He gets up one morning, walks in the kitchen, and it's laying on the kitchen counter.
You have to admit that's bizarre.
Well,
that's very bizarre.
And he said that he believed that it was a woman named Nanny Gibbs who had lived in the house in the 1940s. And he said she's not mean. You know, these people had lived in this house for 20 years.
Right.
He redid this house. he put a lot of care and love into it. So I don't think that he's just making up some silly story.
Right.
You know, but he believed that it was this woman named Nanny Gibbs who lived on the property in the 1940s. So I'm not sure why they believe it's her. They said she's not mean, but she's mischievous. So I would like to find out why they think it's her.
So have you thought about, I know you haven't had, she hasn't had any free time at all since she's moved in this house, because they're constantly doing something, and like they just recently got chickens, and so now they're gonna probably get something else, which will be a surprise. We won't tell them. We'll make them wait.
We'll see if John will let me.
She wants something else though. But have you thought that one of these days when you do have time, that you could like go to the library and see who's lived in that house before?
The lady that lives across the street said that she's got pictures of the house. She said, I'll have to dig them out. She said it's pictures that her grandmother had of the property years and years ago. And she said there were buildings all over the property because that used to be a big farm. And so I would like to, yes, I would definitely
get with her, because I've thought that since living here. This was our childhood home since the 80s and
the 70s.
I would love if somebody had pictures, show me what it looked like when your family lived here. What did the rooms look like and the outside? And I would love to see pictures like that.
Well, it was funny because the wife also spoke up and said that she had felt like, well, she had heard the sound of what sounded like children walking up and down the steps in the house. So that about 2 weeks after that, the house is still empty. We haven't closed on it yet. We're still going over there, and we take my sister-in-law and we take a friend of ours over there. It's me, John, my sister-in-law, and a friend. And he's outside. He's outside doing something, and the three of us ladies go into the house. And we're walking in the house, and I heard me and my sister-in-law both, not the other girl, but me and my sister-in-law both heard the sound of a kid call out twice from upstairs in the house.
Call out what?
I don't know, but it was very clear. It was a voice, and it wasn't once, but it was twice.
And it couldn't have been a bird or...
No, it was a child. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and she's like, did you hear that? And I was like, yeah.
Wonder which room specifically that would have been coming from.
Who knows? Who knows? But it's funny because Jesse went up there yesterday, and Sydney's been at her daddy's house, so it was just Jesse up there yesterday, and Jesse stayed up there all day. Nothing ran her off, but she came downstairs and she said, Mom, I went in my bedroom, and she said, I smelled perfume really strong in my bedroom. And she said, it's nothing that you wear. She said, I went and smelled all of Sydney's perfume. I smelled all my perfume. She said, it's nothing that any of us have. She said, but I smelled perfume really strong in my room. And then she said she felt like she saw somebody standing there.
In which room?
It was in
Jesse's here with us.
It was in the bathroom, which we think used to be a bedroom.
Yes.
So she said she thought, was it just a black shadow? What was it?
No, it looked like an actual human figure of like a woman maybe, just standing there in the doorway.
That's freaky.
And it very much creeped me out.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
But it didn't creep you out enough to where you came downstairs.
Well, no, I'm not like that.
You know.
I thought I was getting pranked for a minute, so I actually started looking for cameras and stuff.
Well, what I did is sometimes I feel like you can agitate things, and I think you can bring things on. Right. So sometimes I think it's good not to pay attention to stuff when it happens.
Right.
But I'm 44 years old. We just bought this place. We paid good money for it.
Right. You don't want to look for trouble.
Well, you're not going to scare me out of my home.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to walk around in something that we're paying for and be scared all the time and be uncomfortable. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
So after we heard the child call out, a couple of days later, just me and John went over there. And he was across the street talking to the lady across the street, and I walked in there. And I said out loud in the house, I said, Miss Gibbs, I said, we're going to move in here. We're buying this place. And I said, and we're going to take care of it. And I said, and we're going to keep it nice and we're going to keep it clean. And I said, but you can't be stealing my keys. And I said, because if an emergency happens, I said, I've got to be able to have my keys to get to where I need to go.
Right.
And that was it. Now, I'm not going to sit there and tell you I haven't heard anything. There's one spot in the living room floor that if you step on it, it makes a very distinct noise.
Right.
And for the past several days, I've been there all alone during the day, working in my office, working. And the girls have been at work. The dogs stay with me. They were right there with me. And you could clearly hear that spot in that floor. Making
And
that
you
noise.
were in your office?
Yes.
So see, I would not like that.
I grabbed
I don't like that
my
at all.
cell phone and I hit Spotify and I turned my music up and thought, it can go ahead and happen. I'm going to sit here and listen to my music and I'm going to do my job.
That's why Ashley had said, I like having an animal in the house. That's why I was surprised she left chapel here. But she said, I like having an animal in the house because it's an excuse. Because if you hear anything in the middle of the night, any noise you're uncertain of, you can always blame it on the animal. But your animals stay right with you.
Well,
So-
it was real funny because it was, a week or so ago, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And the girls, were you all still awake?
I have no idea. It depends.
John got up out of the bed because he heard all kinds of commotion.
Oh yeah, we were in the bed. when
They
that
were in
happened.
the bed, and he thought that the girls were up there arguing with each other or making noise or something, and Butch was down in the dining room area. They said just barking at the wall in the dining room area between the kitchen and the dining room. Is that where he was?
Yeah, me and Cindy got brought up out of bed hearing Butch bark, and he was whining and going off, and we didn't understand why. And Cindy was getting all freaked out, and I was like, Cindy, calm down. You know, it's a dog. It's probably a possum or something.
Right.
Who knows? And I came down to see him just sitting and staring at the wall and barking. It was very odd.
Chapel's climbed the walls here. I mean, he's tried to, like, he'll go to a corner, and he'll go to the corner, and he'll like he's trying to get to something.
Could be like a little spider or something that he sees that you don't.
But it's the same spots every time, and I don't know why it would be the same spots every time.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what's
never
weird
know.
about
You
it. It's
never
the
know.
same spots every time.
So far, that's the only thing that's happened in this house that we're in now. And all I can
Besides
say
that
is,
cabinet opening and scaring Cody.
yeah, but I think that before we moved in, I had a company come and spray the house.
Right.
Because I'm one of these people who has my house sprayed every 3 months.
Right.
Bottom line, whether we have anything or not, it's going to get sprayed.
Right.
Don't want no spiders, not dealing with it.
Right.
So the man had come before we moved in, and I had him spray the house. And so Cody, Sydney's boyfriend, was walking through a room, and a closet door slowly came open. And I think it's just simply because the guy had been in there and sprayed, and he probably didn't shut the door.
He didn't latch it or something.
When Cody walked by,
Right.
you know, it did a breeze or something, and it made it open up.
Right.
I mean, I think lots of times things can be explained. And like I said, I think if you're expecting something to happen, it's going to happen.
Right. Because like nothing, since Kevin and I we've lived here for 8 years. I have had, you mentioned perfume. I have had unexplained smells, very specifically that reminded me of mom's perfume. I don't wear perfume.
Oh, I would love that. If it was mom's perfume, I would feel like she was close to it.
I do not wear perfume and don't have perfume in the house. So for me to walk right into it, you can't explain it. There's just no, it's like,
It's unsettling.
It's like, yeah, it is unsettling because it's like, where in the world did that come from? Because I don't wear perfume and don't own anything that would even remotely smell that way. I mean, it's not like it's a food smell coming from a neighbor's house or, you know, but we have plaster walls, so the walls are really thick. It's just something it's like it's in this, and I can pinpoint the area. Like
where at?
In the hall.
No.
In the hall. In the hall and in that big bathroom. The big bathroom was her bathroom primarily, and that's my bathroom. But I've smelled it in the hall and in the big bathroom.
But you think it specifically smells like mom?
Oh yes, it's her perfume. Yeah.
I wish you'd come visit my house.
Yeah. So, and I've said before in videos a long time ago, I always think it's very, very special when I dream about her, because it's so very, very rare that it's like when it happens, it's like, oh my gosh, I got to see her. I got to hear her. Of course, I have video of her and stuff like that. So anytime I want to see her and hear her, I watch the video. But it's never enough. You find out when you get older that all those pictures you took and all those videos you took, and at the time you're thinking, gosh, I'm filming a lot. I'm filming too much, and it's just so much. It's never enough when that person's gone. When that person's gone, you think, why didn't I film them more? Why didn't I? And I have Christmases where I would have them over to my house, our old house. And I have one Christmas that I don't think I got any pictures of her at all. I got everyone else's picture, but not mom's. And it's like, she was right there. Why didn't I get her picture?
Because she's probably sitting there saying, don't take my picture.
She did that too. You know what? When they're gone, it's like, it's never enough.
Matter. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
So now you have this. So she's just moved into this house, so she will have to keep us up to date if anything happens.
We moved into the house the weekend. Let's see, Monday was the 13th of July. So that weekend before, so around the 12th, 11th, 10th, that area is when we started moving in. And so it hasn't even been a solid month yet.
Right.
And then we had that stuff happen before we even moved into the house.
Right.
But then again, like I said, we're not used to the sounds of this house either.
Right.
This is an old house. It was built in 1930. It's going to have noises that a house that was built in 2007 or 2010 is not going to have.
Right.
You know?
And you have all wood floors, don't you?
Yes, all wood floors.
And that makes a difference, you know, when you have wood floor, when you have carpeting.
Old pipes make a difference.
Right.
You know, so we have a tin roof on this house. That
will make a huge difference. You've had heavy rain out there. What did you think of the heavy rain on that road?
What?
Very loud.
Was it loud?
See, I didn't.
Well, she's upstairs though.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to it. John, it was storming one night, and John went in there and he went to bed, and we always sleep with the fan on. I cannot sleep without a fan on. And John didn't have the fan on. He was like, I went to bed listening to that rain, and it didn't even faze me. It's like I didn't even hear it.
Well, that's good if you were able to go to sleep. That's good.
Shoot, I had to turn the fan on. I didn't pay any attention to it raining.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm saying you were able to go to sleep even though it was loud to him. He heard it, you didn't.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it. He enjoyed it.
Christina likes the rain. When a storm's coming, that's her favorite time. She loves to
Well, let me tell you what, it stormed like hell that night, and it didn't even wake me up. I was out, so.